Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot. I'm here today to do a couple more videos for my Learn Tarot series. I hope today to do the aces and the twos in two different videos. I think it's been about a week since I've done a video for my channel completely. It's just been mad recently. I've just had so many things going on and as per usual with me, no energy to do any of it really. So yeah, but anyway, today, so we've done all the major arcana. We've looked at all the major arcana cards. We've looked at all the court cards. I've shown you some of my favourite cards. I've shown you some good beginners decks. And today we're going to get started on the minor arcana. Once I've finished those, I then hope to do some more videos looking at more sort of specific ways to read. So things like reversals, spreads, developing a personal relationship with the cards, getting to know the cards on a deeper level, or certainly how the cards relate to each other in a spread a bit more thoroughly. But anyway, today, aces. So I'm going to use the same sort of format as before. I'm going to tell you a little bit about aces. Then we're going to look at the individual suits, 3 cards for each suit. And I shall give you a question or two that you could use to help you reflect upon the energy of this card. So we're going to start with the wands. And, well, no, we're not going to start with the wands. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about aces, really, to start off with. So in numerology, an ace or a 1 would represent a new beginning. It would represent a new cycle, a new start. So aces represent new beginnings of a positive nature generally. They can be the spark of potential. They're symbolic of creative potential, and they indicate a tremendous surge of energy that is about to happen or is happening. It's the most intense archetypal energy of each suit, really, and the other numbered cards derive their power from the ace. So it's a very important card, actually, in the whole deck, really, the aces. So starting with the Ace of Wands, as we can see here, this card is a masculine card. We've got quite a phallic symbol here. This card represents, in general terms, in its sort of higher realms, in its positive realms, this card represents a new spark of energy, a positive new beginning or undertaking, an ambition to succeed with whatever it is that burns inside you, a beginning of a meaningful experience, a spiritual journey, a new adventure or enterprise. This is really taking up the wand in hand and starting to walk. In its lower levels, this card could represent aborted beginnings, delays, cancellations of plans, feeling impotent, being stuck, or even perhaps feeling restless and hyperactive, dissatisfied with life. So this particular card here, this is the very traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, and here we can truly see that spark of desire, can't we, in the very phallic symbol of the wand here. This is male virility. This is the beginnings of a passion for anything or anyone. And this really is a spark of desire or of energy and of ideas bursting into life, as we can see with the growth of the leaves coming out of the wand here. I've also got here my Tarot of Oppositions deck, and this really is about sort of seizing the moment, isn't it? I think here, taking advantage of creative energy in its positive realms here. This is really seizing the opportunity, isn't it? And then if we look at the more negative or the shadow side of this card here, we can see this is a lower sort of energy, isn't it? This is not really sort of understanding what you want or what you need. And this is more of a sort of a taking, isn't it? Rather than a taking. It's a sort of taking in a negative way, I suppose, rather than kind of seizing the moment, seizing the potential of something. And then I've got here from my Mary L deck, the Ace of Wands here, which I shall read from the book for, because this is an extremely different kind of energy, isn't it? As we can see here. Looking at this card, really, I wouldn't have a clue what was going on there without looking in my book. So in the book here, it says the Ace of Wands is bestowed with the hawk's wings of the sun and the courageous heart of the lion. So it represents the untamed energy and the heat of the sun. At first it can be very wild, hot, powerful and kinetic, but it also possesses great heart, strength and courage, and the ability to provide and illuminate. This card wants to be a hero and a leader. Fire is the primordial yang energy. It's aggressive, active, outward and masculine. Your charge is to harness, direct and control this great energy and focus it into something good. Spiritually, this card is the seed of your strength. You may not know the full magnitude of divine strength you have until the very end, when you have moved it and channeled it through a more oppressive and all-surrounding earth, and then claimed it as your own. This is also the animating life force within you, passed down from mother and father to child since the beginning of life. It is the tip of the spear of creation on earth, and your body is the vehicle. You are fortunate enough to contain it, as life is a rare gift. And in her upright position here, she said this is initiating energy, pure untamed energy and libido, creative potential, divine spark, dynamic vitality, the courage to accept a new challenge and a good start. In reverse, or in its shadow, this is feeling overwhelmed, restless, impulsive, impatient, uncontrolled passions, undirected energy, a fire that gets out of hand, unable to focus with so much effervescent, rowdy energy. Conversely, you could be listless, sluggish, and lethargic, and this could be a bad start. So there we go. That's the Ace of Wands, and I shall be back with the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups here. So in this card, what we can see here are the overflowing waters of life. This cup here, which really resembles the womb. I think that this sort of wafer, or this sort of, I don't know what you would call that here. I think it's a wafer, isn't it, from religion, but that's about to be put into the chalice here, which is representative of the womb. So this is the overflowing waters of life. I think the dove is symbolic of the spirit realms, and it brings a peace wafer that it's about to drop into the chalice here. So you could also, as I said, see this as fertility. This is life starting. I think the lotus flowers in this card reflect growth and spirituality. So in its highest realms, this card really is the purest aspects of love's emotional energy. This card could represent falling in love, being in love, the love of children, having an abundance of love. This is the great journey of the heart. This is pure spiritual feelings of fulfillment, joy, of pleasure and happiness. This card represents emotional growth, the energy behind mystical experiences. And I think once you've lifted the cup, you now very much want to drink from it, don't you? So in its lower realms, this card can represent unrequited love, insincerity, a loss of love, obsessive love, feeling closed, blocked, or afraid of your own emotional state. But really, this card is about staying emotionally open and repressing nothing. In the Tarot of Oppositions here, we have, this is kind of the Holy Grail or the Chalice of Life again, isn't it? This is about grasping the beauty of life, I think, in its upright position here. But in its negative position, it's more about the taking of something, trying to take maybe what's not yours, because the cup is obviously upside down here, isn't it? So it's about trying to take what is not yours or what is not there. This could represent a closed heart, a cold, barren and unforgiving heart. Yeah. And let's have a look in the book for the last card here. This is the Mary L. Let me turn my heater off. So this is the Mary L, which is a very, very different take, isn't it, on the Ace of Cups here. So we've got the Ace of Cups is the angel constellation of Aquarius in the winter solstice. It's the element of water. It's lunar with the pure wings of the dove. It is yin, internal and soft. So this is a very feminine energy, obviously. As a river, it flows around rocks where fire might blast through them. The Ace of Cups is like the moon. It is internal looking and cyclic. The emotions often associated with the Suit of Cups have a very real and important reason to exist. They are the messengers of the subconscious, just like angels are a messenger of God. Emotions are only what lie on the surface, though beneath the waters that are very deep, the reservoir of all human knowledge that we have inherited from our ancestors and their ancestors, back to the very oldest of all living things on earth, in an unbroken chain. It is very ancient and wise and speaks to us through emotions, dreams, visions, gut feelings, intuitions and psychic phenomena. I do not know where the bottom of this water is. Perhaps it has no bottom. It connects us all in a collective unconscious, and you are the steward of this very ancient bloodline. With free will comes free will of love. When you transcend the biological demands of the subconscious and truly begin to decide how you want to love, openly and without judgment or caution, without expectation of return, with purpose, compassionately. This is the kind of powerful flowing force that is yin and can gently move mountains and shape the earth. So this is all things love, acceptance, new relationships, new love affairs, messages from the heart, great capacity for love, compassion and kindness. And in reverse, in its shadow, this is being not ready for love, a closed heart and not receptive. So there we go. Oh, I knocked my little robin over. Do you like my robin? He's supposed to be clipped to a Christmas tree, but I've decided this year I'm not going to have a Christmas tree. I celebrate very much the winter solstice. I'm always very happy to see that, as it means that the sun is returning, but not so big on Christmas. Anyway, I shall be back with the Ace of Swords. Okay, so the Ace of Swords. So in its highest realms, this card talks of the mind awakening to new challenges. There can be great determination and mental strength with this card. There's a great clarity of thinking. There can be mental breakthroughs. The mind is feeling sharper and clearer. There's a need to talk, to write, and to discuss. The sword has been lifted, and you will now want to test its edge. This is a new assertion of will, the beginning of a cycle of self-conquest that can involve an initial power struggle at times. In its lower realms, this card can be negative and self-destructive thinking. There can be tempers, there can be blocked thinking. This can be a spiritual crisis due to intellectualization, which can hinder the ability to feel. This particular card here, the Rider-Waite-Smith card, I think that this card reminds us of the value of the mind, and that really words can be used to hurt or to heal, because after all, this is a sword, and this is a sword with a sharp edge to it, just like our tongues can be sharp sometimes. So that's what this card reminds me of, to be honest, is that words can either hurt or they can heal. In the Tarot of Oppositions, which this side is upright, we can see here that victory can await you, but only by using your power of reason, your wisdom, truth, and your ability to speak intelligently. Can you break through? If you're not using these things quite so intelligently, you're going to get hurt, aren't you? It's, as I said, this is a sword, it's a weapon. If it's used incorrectly, it can hurt. It's sharp. You're not supposed to grab hold of it from that end, are you? So, and then in the Mary L deck, of which I will read from the book, we've got another very strange interpretation of the Ace of Swords here. So this is the eagle. This is a symbol of exalted Scorpio. It is the autumnal equinox and it represents air. This is a masculine energy. The eagle and the Scorpio are symbols for the evolution of mankind and the evolution of our soul, wanting and willing to have the ability to rise up from the dark waters and the black earth, to break free from the bondage of gravity and fly free in the wind. The eagle is the prince of birds, noble and strong. It can fall like lightning and has vision that is incredibly sharp. It has often been used as a symbol for God, who comes down to mate with humans in its form, or to bring the souls of dead back up to heaven. As air, it is the breath and inspiration of life. It is the reconciliation between male and female, yin and yang, God and goddess. It is the middle pillar. When it learns to harness the power of controlling both contrasting aspects of itself, it will be the reason of the charioteer. And from the earth it will rise to become the eagle at the top of the caduceus, the realized potential of the human soul. So, air traditionally deals with the intellect or thoughts and ideas. The Suit of Swords is often portrayed negatively, which is understandable. When you use the tarot for divination and need to balance between positive and negative, and this was reflected in some can't speak today, divinatory meanings. But swords and air can be so much more if sought and understood in the concept of spiritual development, where it goes beyond just thoughts and intellect, and maybe the coldness perceived in those ideas, and into the concepts of free will, purpose, and reason for existence, communication, language, development, from an innocent who was born divine to a person who needs to learn, balance, and control and take responsibility for their own creation and will, and seek out enlightenment. What else have we got here? So she says here, in its upright position, this is new and original thought or ideas or concepts, new knowledge or understandings, initiating a search for truth, keeping a clear head, clear thinking, sharp focus or awareness, clear sharp vision, initiating concepts, taking off on new projects or ideas and beginning a plan of action. In its reversed or shadow attributes, this is obscurity, feeling too heavy or cluttered to begin to fly, a need for new ideas or solutions, and unclear and foggy thinking. Now, if we were going to ask a question of the swords energy, if we wanted a question to reflect upon when we're thinking about swords, we could ask questions such as, what new problem are you facing? Or what decision do you need to face? They would be good questions that relate to this air energy, wouldn't they? So there we go. I shall be back in a mo with the Pentacles. Okay, so here I am with the Ace of Pentacles, and in its higher realms, this card talks about a physical need to be grounded, to do solid work, to make, create and touch things. There are the beginnings of material creation with this card, like a seed in the ground. There's the desire to put down roots and to just become. There are financial rewards to be had with this card, with success in business, prosperity. There can be new and positive relationships forged. The pentacle has been taken in hand, but for now, it's like you just want to put it in your pocket and leave it to grow. So in its lower realms, this card could mean being a miser, being greedy, poverty, misused wealth, decadence, and also a kind of prosperity without happiness. In this particular card, in the Rider-Waite-Smith card here, we see the pentacle as a kind of seed. It's the beginning of the element of earth. It's all the things that you can see and feel and touch. It's kind of like the DNA of all living things, if you like. And I think in this card here, this is asking the question, you know, you've taken up the pentacle in hand. Are you now ready to walk with that pentacle through the gate here, through this lovely hedge, through this archway, and into the world? And again, this is a very feminine energy, and I think that this pentacle here, if we look at it as a seed and as this gate here as being the womb, this is yet another very feminine card of fertility, isn't it? Yeah. So in the Tarot of Oppositions, this is a very similar energy here again. The pentacle is not in hand, but it's being taken, isn't it? This is newness, new adventures, good health, inspiration. Yeah. But in its negative forms here, we can see it's not just being taken, it's kind of being grasped, isn't it? It's not a receptive energy, it's a It's a harsher resistance and a negative grasping and taking of this energy here. And then if we look at the last card, I shall read from the book again. This is the Ace of Discs, the Ace of Pentacles in the Mary L deck. And again, this is a very different take on the Ace of Pentacles. Where did I want to read from in this? There's quite a lot written about the Ace of Pentacles in this book. So, another traditional name for the suit, another traditional name for the suit of discs is Pentacles, which is a star within a circle, and that is what Asterion in the labyrinth is. And I think Asterion is this here, it is the Minotaur. The wings of the Minotaur were fashioned after owl's wings. And the reason for this is the acronym OWL, one who looked. It refers to the creation story where God created the universe in order to see himself, to see and experience the full manifestation of his multitude, every potential and possibility from every angle, every bit of love and passion and kindness and beauty and creation, of destruction, pain, suffering, every single face and heart within himself, which is the wide universe, why he decided to create, to look at himself. To escape the labyrinth, to even find what it means to you, you must develop the parts of yourself like the parts of the Minotaur, and working together they can solve the puzzle. Everyone in the Minotaur myth is really an aspect of the Minotaur itself, as within, so without. There is an inscription in the wall and it says, as above, so below. As above, so above. As inside, so outside. As outside, so inside. As right, so left. As left, so right. One makes 4 quarters. 4 quarters makes 1. I'm glad I read that. I would never remember that. What else have we got here? Through this inscription is the symbol of the labrys or double axe, a sacred symbol to the Minoans and a tool used for the sacrifice of bulls. It resembles female labia that mark the doorway from inside to outside the body, the last exit of the labyrinth after you travel the convoluted path of the handle as the star seeks to rise in the sky. So as I said, this is very much a feminine energy card, and can certainly represent conception and wombs and that kind of symbology. So in its upright position, this is building a foundation for a new house, job, or good health. This is a balanced foundation, a balanced team. Listen to what your body is saying. There's a discovery of new strength, the beginning of the journey throughout the maze of life. In its reverse position, this card can represent a maze, illness, a prison one must find their way out of, bad food, lack of foundations, and strength yet to be discovered. So, if we were thinking about questions that might be helpful if we were to reflect upon the energy of the Ace of Pentacles, it could be things like, what new opportunities are at work for you currently? What is making you feel secure and grounded currently? It would be those kind of questions, wouldn't it? It would be questions related to everything that we can see and feel and touch. So there we go. That's the ACES, and I shall hopefully be back soon with the twos. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.